Hey y'all, I'm here with the full crew today. We are recapping Queen Sugar season 7, episode 9. Welcome back to the recap, Ashley, aka Mrs. Mason, the newlywed. Hey,
Believe it. I am a
boo.
part of the crew for real, y'all. Wifey Club. I'm
Yes,
excited. I'm in love.
congratulations.
If you like it, then you should have put a
Yes,
ring on
thank
it. Don't be
you.
mad when you see that he want it. And that's beautiful,
Y'all did
beautiful,
not tell
beautiful.
me how great this is. Y'all didn't tell me how great this life is.
Well, it's kind
It's
of nice.
I love being married. I'm probably in the minority of people who doesn't think that marriage is hard. I think marriage is wonderful. It's fabulous. It's wonderful, and it it sure beats the alternative in terms of being out there struggling shit. On the struggle bus. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh my gosh. I will say this though, not to make it about me, but at my wedding reception, season and another bridesmaid made me out to be like I was down bad before I met my husband. I was like, damn, a bitch was still choosing. I was saying goodbye.
That's 100% not true. She didn't even let me get through. I didn't even get through like half of my speech before she. First of all, Reese was drunk. Okay,
Yeah,
she
but I
was.
still remember that
No,
one.
she didn't let me get through my speech, so I cut it off and was like, you know what? Never mind. Congratulations. Like I'm not even gonna be bothered with this. So
Yeah, that's okay. That's
Yeah.
okay.
I did not put her out there though. I
No, she
didn't.
didn't. I mean, it wasn't embarrassing, but I was just like, okay, I wasn't doing that bad. Like I've definitely come up. I've definitely come up. But anyway, it's not about
But
me. It's
you
about
know,
Ashley, who is the
they say
newlywed.
everything starts over once you get married. So
Yeah.
Oh yeah, everybody else is erased. Everybody's erased. Hey, Aunt Cookie. Hey, S Murphy. MD Terp. Okay, let's get into it. Let's get into it. All right. So we start off. I'm about to be. Every week I kick myself for being so bad at the names. But we start off with Nova taking a stroll down memory lane with. Does anybody know the girl's name?
Camille.
Camille. Thank you. Okay, Camille. So she's
yeah.
literally taking a stroll down memory lane with Camille. I love the scenery. Um, and I like there's a part of me that I know I'm in the minority here, but there's still a part of me that's like rooting for Dominic, that's rooting for like Nova to kind of stay on the straight and narrow of what she said last episode with Calvin. So part of me is like, okay, where are they going with this? But I do like that one of the things Queen Sugar is doing this season is really kind of like rounding out all these characters, rounding out their past, rounding out why they are the way that they are, and really reconciling past traumas or whatever the situation. So, Ashley, I will start with you because which one of y'all is harder on Nova? I feel like Ashley is normally harder on Nova.
I
She
think
hates
Nova, if
Nova.
she was a man, she would be a fuck boy.
Well, what was your reaction to we'll just talk about the whole Yvette says I'm rooting for him. Okay, so it's not just me. Aunt Cookie says, like, what is Nova doing? What is your reaction to the whole plot with Nova and Camille and just kind of how that played out this episode?
I won't say if at first it was like, okay, Nova, are you going down memory lane because you want to rekindle something? But I feel like the way she went down memory lane was more tailored towards her getting closure with her dad. So I feel
Yes, I
like
did
that's
like
why
that.
they brought her or Camille's character. I didn't sense any real like sexual lust, between them. I did
Yeah.
sense like intimacy and romance, but it
Mm-hmm.
really seemed to me like she was trying to get that closure about her dad. And her dad getting that whatever Camille said, a little story about the dad coming and telling her, go talk to Nova. I feel like Nova was looking for that acceptance, right?
Right,
From
right.
her dad. And she was able to get that through Camille. But
Mm-hmm.
Nova's a fuck up. So I don't see her, you know, really you making this thing with Dom. I hope that she doesn't do wrong by this man because I think that he's a great fit for her. I think they're a great couple together. But I don't trust Nova. She would be a fuckboy if she was a nigga, straight up.
I think it's fair to not trust Nova. And I think that Queen Sugar kind of always keeps us on the edge of like, is Nova about to do some fuck shit? But at the same time, is that them or is that us? Because I feel like she's really been on her, on the right path this season in particular. Like she's been deliberate about making amends. She's been deliberate about committing to Dominic. And so I don't know if part of it is like us holding a past against her, or if the writers are still writing a little bit of that ambiguity.
What about the Puerto Rican farmer chick? She was trying to slip
the Indian girl, the Native American. Yeah. I mean, homegirl was coming on Nova strong, but Nova did not bite. So season, what do you think? And Yvette says, I do like how they're addressing who got them to the place they are. Yeah, I think I read that right. And Yvette says, I think she's trying. Yes. And Ross said, don't pull a Nova. Okay, season, what's your reaction to Nova's plot line with Camille this episode?
I think with Camille want Nova bad. I think they go together real bad, and Camille really? Like, you was my first love. You stood me up. I had to marry this other bitch. Now I got 2 kids. I ain't never even left St. Joe's. Like, girl, what's up? I'm trying to see the world with you, baby.
You think it's all that?
I didn't get all that.
Y'all don't think she still won't? Think about it. Think about it. If you ran into your little crush from high school who ain't never left the city y'all went to high school in, they would be looking at you like you fucking Michelle Obama. Like, yeah, I can go places with you, girl. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
I get it. I get it.
And though she didn't kiss her, she told her to back up, right?
Well, that's because Nova was like, "Oh, it's just bad timing," like because when Camille was like, "Oh, it's," when they wanted to dance,
she's like, "Just dance with me, just be here now."
Yeah, but she getting her hooks in that girl. This is what I think. One of your people said it last week. Dominic ain't on the show no more, y'all. We ain't I think he gonna break up with her. I don't think we gonna see him again. I think their relationship is a wrap. I think he pulled motherfucking
he ghosted her.
What's the girl name who not on the show no more?
Dawn.
I think he pulled a Charlie on us. He was only paid for like the first 2 episodes, and now I think they're gonna break up and she gonna be able to pursue things with Camille. But honestly, Nova need to get the fuck up out of St. Joe. She is no use to anybody. Anything they put her up against, they lose. Like, girl, just go. She needs to move to like New Orleans or something. Go to a bigger city. She's taking so many L's. They need to stop. She needs to just start over. She's no longer the spokesperson of St. Joe's. Go on now. Nova needs to start over somewhere else.
Well, before I address that, Karina says, "Hey y'all, Ashley got married already. Congrats, girl."
Yes. Ain't no time wasted. We ain't having no 15-year engagement.
Period. Okay. MD Terp says, "I told y'all Nova bored with Dominic. He's a nice guy, but he's not giving her something because that's a good man." And Yvette says he's on a show called Hulu called Reasonable Doubt, which I'm thinking about checking out because I'm starting to run out of shows now. I am getting less invested. I'm rooting for Dominic, but I'm getting less invested. If I keep not seeing them, then I'm like, okay, what the hell's going on?
Text in this episode? They didn't even have a fake text.
No, they didn't. I mean, she just alluded to him. Hey, Steven. So, I'm not super like, I wouldn't be mad at her because I feel like they've really shown her try to kind of stay true to him. But if he offers Sudan or whatever, then whatever's going to happen. But I will say, to Ashley's earlier point, I think that the whole Camille thing is more so about kind of rounding out Nova's character, like how much it really broke her to be looked at differently from her dad, when she was outed. And I feel like maybe the outed story, we've heard that at some point in the 7 seasons. I don't recall it right now, but
Well, I thought it was Billy that outed her.
was that why they had
Yeah,
beef?
wasn't
Okay.
it Billy that outed
Do
Nova?
y'all
Yeah,
remember?
yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, it makes sense kind of why there's that like longing there, why there's that coulda, woulda, shoulda. But I do feel like Camille said, like, I feel like everything happened for a reason and where we were supposed to be. So I think it's not so much about like, hey, let's pick up where we left off, or oh, we should have been together. I think it was just more so about like erasing the doubt, erasing the regret, erasing the coulda, woulda, shoulda, and like moving forward as adults and like just kind of rewriting the story. I think that's what Camille said, like write a different story. And so
Hello, she ready to do that thing with Nova.
I'm
She
not
did say
saying
ex-wife real quick. She said ex-wife. Like, let me let you know.
well, she said wife first, and then she corrected herself because I think that she still probably has feelings for her wife. She said it's new. I'm not putting it past them to end up together, but I'm just saying, like, I think that it wasn't about, oh, they have sexual chemistry. It wasn't about like, oh, them having some kind of like physical intimacy. I think it was
Yeah.
just more so about a teenage love, an acceptance kind of thing, and kind of
I
Camille.
didn't get that.
You did it.
I got like Camille was the one that stayed behind, got married, had the kids, and Nova's the one who went off and did all these great things. And she's just like this in awe of her almost. Like it was just, I don't know.
She was definitely impressed. She was
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, but
she's like,
everybody is
oh man,
smitten with
like
Nova.
yeah, and it's just it's interesting because high school, that you're kids,
Yeah.
but being stood up at prom, I can only imagine how devastating that can be, or
Yeah.
whatever. I don't know, but I just kind of felt like it was giving me like hometown celebrity fan vibes. Like,
I did
Mm.
not get that.
I
you
wasn't
don't?
getting that.
Okay,
I wasn't
all
getting
right.
it.
We
Yeah.
don't see.
Go ahead, Ashley.
I got more so she was really pulling Nova out of her emotions. That's what I like. Every time Nova would get in her feelings and talk about the past, what happened, how sad she was, she kept pulling her back to the moment. Like, well, girl, that's not you anymore. This is where we are now. I didn't get like she could have fucked her on that table vibes. I didn't get that.
Yeah,
I
I
didn't
don't.
get
I don't
that.
think that she was trying to be that forward. Like how the farmer chick was like, I fucking her all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like she was clearly
Yeah.
flirting. I think that she was just trying to set something right. I think for instance, part of it was also on Camille. Like, Nova's dad showed up and tried to get her to reach out to Nova. And so I think that they both kind of play a little bit of a role in like the breakdown and that distance, but also in the little bit of regret. And I just think I just think that they're trying to kind of reset and not have that trauma there, not have that pain there, and not have that doubt. And what's interesting to me is, even at that age, Camille was ready to be out and she was ready to be, she was more, sure of herself than Nova was. And now we know Nova to be just like, civil rights activist and like super strong willed and this and the other. And I think that it kind of helped, like connect the dots and kind of like I said, give us a little bit more insight to Nova.
Yeah.
And Yvette says, I think she was showing Nova she was forgiven and move on. We can be friends. That's what I got from it as well.
I got some romance out of it. I mean, I did get like, I thought they was gonna kiss at the end, to be honest. I was really shocked they didn't.
One thing I love about Queen Sugar is the tenderness they show Black people, you know,
Mhm.
in of all ages and different demographics, you know, whether it's, you know, a lesbian relationship or a gay relationship or whatever. I don't know what the kind of relationship this is. I love that there's always a tenderness there. Not always, but most of the time there's a tenderness there. Whereas sometimes, you know, when it comes to Black relationships, there's always this like this animalistic, like raw thing. You know, when you see them kind of Black people being intimate, it's always like super like rip each other's clothes off. Season is like you're being super corny right now. She's not agreeing with anything that we're saying. But
Camille
this,
trying to fuck. She looking for a stepmommy, okay? Y'all knock
maybe
it off. Y'all need to knock it
no,
off.
maybe, but I'm just talking about. I definitely think that the whole. I like there was a tenderness to their slow dance. It wasn't like fucking you know, like bumping and grinding, which is
It was
okay.
weak.
Which is
They
okay to
played
do that.
weak, y'all. They played weak. That's a clear romantic song.
Yeah,
Season, no?
I agree. There were romantic sparks there. I agree that there's something there,
All right.
which I think was necessary.
Yeah, all right. We gonna see.
I think it's necessary to show the
We gonna
chemistry
see.
and the rapport they had to see why it had such an impact on her and why she's kind of returning to have these conversations. And maybe something will come of it. But I'm just saying,
Yeah.
I thought that they handled it in a beautiful way. That's my opinion. I think they handled it in a beautiful way on this episode.
Season said they trying to fuck.
Yeah, Camille want a stepmama. That's it.
Well, maybe that's what we'll see. Maybe that's what we'll see.
Because it's how many more episodes? Just one?
No, I think
Oh,
I think
13.
there are 13 episodes
Okay.
this season. I think. I don't know for sure. But okay, we talked enough about Nova. So I guess the other thing, well, I'll get to that later on because I want to talk about Hollywood. Let's see. So Ralph Angel, I think for me, Ralph Angel was centering himself way too much in the whole thing with Darla. Like I feel like Darla really came into her own. Like this is her fifth coming into her own, but again, like she really felt like she had a release and she's free and she feels more safe and more confident after having confronted Chase. And it confirmed this episode that it was her idea to basically extort Chase for all that money. But I feel like she's come to good terms with it and a good place. And I feel like Ralph Angel is there. I know it's love, but part of it felt like just ego. Like, you know, he just still wouldn't really let Darla move past that. And he was still really angry. Season, what's your take on kind of Ralph Angel's reaction to the whole Chase thing and his demeanor towards Darla in this whole situation?
I think it's appropriate. I mean,
Okay.
his wife's rapist and the potential father of his child showed up out of fucking nowhere. He finds out that there's been some kind of communication going. Now he finna be fucking eating off this nigga because he's donating to the Black co-op. Like, it's a lot going on. I would not expect anyone in Ralph Angel's position to not know how to process all this, not know how to not be angry or I mean, no, I think he's 100% appropriate. And should he probably talk to somebody? Yeah, but I don't think it would have been realistic for him to just move on like nothing happened. It's like, nah, that's a lot going on for, you know, their situation. And Darla just out of nowhere, she breaking niggas' pockets, getting money, and just big kicking it, like rub it on a picture of blue like nothing happened. That whole storyline is very weird for me right now. So I think that Ralph Angel out of everybody is probably having the more realistic reaction to everything. Okay. And now he's putting a face to the name and having to replay things. I don't know. I don't think Ralph Angel's tripping.
Well, I think you definitely make a fair point, which I hadn't necessarily considered, you know. So, Ashley, what's your take on it? Yvette says that's why he needs therapy to help him sort it out.
I thought it was hot.
I know. Kill that nigga for me, bitch. Go beat him up.
Show me you love me, okay? That's how you show me you love me. You beat my rapist ass. Like, that shit was hot. I think it was. I'm 100% with Season. I think it was appropriate because he's never had to process things like this, right? And now he's in a completely different space with Darla because they have a daughter together. So now you're not just looking at her like she's the girl I want to be with. You're looking at her as she's the wife and the for real mother of my children. And you have the audacity. You already violated her once, right? Because you raped her. Now you in her face talking shit, and you think I'm supposed to stand here and not do anything? I think his reaction was absolutely appropriate. And honestly, for y'all already know, I love Hollywood. That's my number one. He's the best character on here. He gave the best advice. I literally had to clap my hands at what he told Ralph Angel because he really is a great mentor for Ralph. For
absolutely,
real.
Yeah.
And it gave. I mean, to me, that was such a Emmy award-winning scene, right? Because we have one black man who is erratic. He's angry. He's in pain. He's hurting. He doesn't know what to do. And you have another one who is also feeling the same way, but is doing it in such a mentally healthy way that he's just got. I mean, it was a great scene. I thought it was fucking phenomenal. And Ralph Angel did exactly what he was supposed to do: beat that nigga ass. Like, I understand his feelings about it, because this is someone who violated my wife that I can't do anything about, right? I have to suppress this and just move on. So yeah, chef's fucking kiss. That shit was hot.
Well, I'm 100% for violence and Ralph Angel beating the dog shit. I'm not reneging on that part. I'm just saying, I think part of what bothered me is when like she was saying like, he was saying like, oh, well, that's not what he thinks. And he's not going to think like how basically she was trying to like empower herself and look at, her exchange and how she kind of bested Chase as like, okay, I've reclaimed my power. And he's like, well, that's not what he's going to think. And I like how she said, doesn't matter what he thinks. It matters what I think. And she's no longer ashamed and she's no longer afraid. And I think for me, I just don't want him to take her back there. And I see that he's working through it. And like you said, Ashley, Hollywood really gave him a great pep talk. And I think they're going to move past it. But it did rub me the wrong way a little bit, just because I feel like here she is trying to move past that. And I feel like he still wants her to be in that moment with him, and she's not really
to be honest, and also to be fair, she has had, and I know that of course this happened to her, so her emotions trump everybody else's automatically, but she's had more time to process this because she's been hiding this from him. You get what I'm saying? To Season's point, he found out, and then the nigga was in his face right away. So it was really not that much time for him to, it wasn't enough time for him to really be able to process and get to that place of, it ain't about him, it's about Darla, because he was still in that angry mode. So yeah, I'm with you. I'm 1,000% on violence.
Yeah, and you know what? I think you ladies make excellent points. So I take back that he was centering himself. I definitely feel like after listening to you that it was a fair reaction. And I think over the course of the episode, he kind of, backed off of some of his harshness. I felt like it wasn't uncalled for, and I don't think he was malicious, but I feel like he needs to let Darla lead in terms of how she's going to feel about the situation and kind of take a little bit of a back seat. That's my take on in terms of how Darla feels about the situation. But again, we see Darla kind of, what was it? And Ralph Angel did know about the rape, but I definitely think, to both of their points, seeing the person, being confronted with him, and kind of looking to see Blue, and then knowing that Blue is in the same city as him, even though he signed away his rights and things like that. Those are fair concerns. That
man he was looking at Blue in 20 years. That man looked just like that little boy.
That was a great casting.
I would
Great
have
casting.
nightmares about that because that's
I
his
know.
twin. They are twins.
Yeah.
And you
Is
know,
that
you,
his
I don't
real
know.
daddy?
That's his daddy. I
No,
think that's his
no,
daddy.
I don't think so.
I'm talking
I,
about in real life because that looked just like that man.
They did a damn good
no,
job.
I've
casting him.
seen. I think the actor's name is Ethan. I've seen his parents, and that guy's not it.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
they did a
Um,
good
Is
job
his mama
casting
white?
that man.
But did
His
you guys
mama white?
catch? I don't remember. But did you guys catch how at the meal they were talking about like how Ralph Angel wasn't a good student like Blue, you know? So I feel like there's some little parts like, you know, okay, obviously this man, he's a rapist, but he's obviously successful, you know, he's smart, and obviously Blue did get some attributes from him. So I just wonder if that probably will kind of make him feel a little bit of ways. But anyways, moving on from that. So Darla's at the meal. I will say to me, it got a little convoluted with the whole like there were parts from the Landry mill coming to this meal. Like, what are they doing? I thought it was just supposed to sit on the books for property value. Now look like they trying to get the mill back up and running. I'm a little confused with that, but I did like Darla inviting Nova to the meal, and you know, kind of, you know, taking the upper hand back. You know, when she was blindsided with the book, and then she was blindsided with the movie deal.
Yeah.
And
See,
so
but I said last week that she was gonna do that.
Me too, Karina.
I know. I be saying shit, all kind of stuff. Emily Turp says casting was on point, and yeah, Deanna, I'm trying to figure out what is going on with the. I feel like the meal stuff is not. It's not clicking. I don't know what's happening. But anyway, so Nova. So Darla invites Nova, and she's basically like, I like how she says like, you got to the middle of my story. If you can write my story where I win, then you have my blessing. I absolutely love that season. Your thoughts on that part? Because you said
last week that Darla was gonna give Nova the green light for the movie. So,
but how do you feel about it this episode? Because you had said a little bit earlier that you felt like Darla's kind of like, I guess, turnabout just didn't seem. I mean,
I was thrown off by her asking for all that damn money, but I'm happy to see her you know, all empowered and just ready to be a voice and not, you know, shake like a hoe in church whenever her phone rings. So, you know, I'm happy to see this growth and this change or whatever. I was just thrown off by the money, but I knew she was gonna go back to Nova and say and give her the green light for the movie, because it's just, they kind of left that open when the what you call it was like, I'm gonna check back with you in a couple of weeks. So yeah, that was cool. And I think with the meal thing, I think Darla's trying to get it appraised, because she was like, oh, it'll be worth more if the equipment is working.
Yeah, I get that, but I'm just like, okay, how y'all paying for all this stuff? But whatever. Anyway,
with Blue Daddy money.
Well, I guess maybe the first check done already hit. But anyway, Ashley, what was your reaction to Darla and Nova? And wait, but one more thing I do want to say, I do like how Darla started off like, you was on some bullshit. he says she still need her ass beat for that damn book. I said like, I like that they are still holding her accountable, and I like that she's holding herself accountable and taking accountability for, regardless of what her intent was, her impact was harmful. So I do like that they still let off with that. Ashley, what's your reaction though?
I was thinking the same thing. Like, it's not, you know, my concern was that Nova would get let off the hook. Yeah. You know, when in reality, what Nova did was fucked up, you know, on so many levels. So I'm glad that Darla put in perspective, like, don't get it twisted. You still was wrong as fuck. But now I'm ready to continue and turn your mistake into an opportunity for all of us. So I'm glad that Darla is able to see the bigger picture and find a silver lining in such a dark, traumatic time. and her having that moment with Nova. This episode felt like a wrapping up Little Moments episode.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Like a lot of callbacks to previous episodes and things that may have been said that we might have forgotten about. So I really enjoyed that it's really giving those full circle moments. And I think this was one of them that, for Darla to get to a point, because she was pissed, I was saying to when Millie was here and we were watching, I was like, I've never seen a role where Bianca Lawson had to yell. I didn't even know she knew how to yell until this.
Yeah.
So like the fact that she was just so upset about it, it's good to see. Of course, we knew it was going to happen, but it's good to see how they did it without her just looking like she just rolled over and gave Nova what she wanted. It took some time to get there.
I think it was a credible change of heart. And I like that, as Deonza is saying, a lot of things are being wrapped up, but I feel like they're doing it in a way that's satisfying. They're not doing it in a way that's like, all right, we just gonna throw some shit up against the wall and see what sticks. Like at the beginning, I wasn't feeling it because I felt like, I don't know what the hell they were doing, but I feel like they really got into a groove and came to terms with the fact that like, okay, this is ending. So what are we going to do? What about this? What about that? But I think that so IBE says when Darla gave Nova her blessing, it just showed or proved that nobody can tell your story better than you. There are more chapters to her story. I stand. Yeah, I love that she's flipping the narrative, because it really sucks to be known as like the crack hoe, person who had a baby outside of your, the love of your life or whatever. I'm not judging. I'm not victim blaming, but I'm just saying she was strung out and had alcoholism, had a bunch of stuff. Not judging, but that's what I'm saying. So nobody really wants to be known by that, especially when she's trying to, be a businesswoman and get all these other things going. And she has, another child, a daughter that she wants to be a good example for. So blah, blah, blah. Long story short, love that scene. And I just like where she is. And moving on to another part, when the guy came into Vi's diner, and it was cute, and he tried the pies and he was like, "Ooh, Demetrius." He said that, and Vi's all, who's Demetrius? Because they love to steal black labor. So I was a little concerned, like, okay, who are they gonna try to redo her pies and sell it, and this gonna be a whole plot? But it was about TikTok. But I wondered when she said I have to talk to my business partner. I was like, I wonder if she's talking about Darla, because Darla is the one who really kind of pushed her into the farmers market.
I think it was Darla.
Yeah. So I like that now we're at the point where we're looking at Darla in other ways and not just like as Ralph Angel's baby mama or Blue's mama
or the former crackhead.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, let's see. IB says, highlight of the episode was when Hollywood talked Raw down that ledge. You can see in Raw's eyes he was ready to go to jail. Yeah, that, and Ashley was talking about that earlier. That was really important. So let's talk about, I'll save Hollywood for last. Let's talk a little bit about Micah. So, okay, y'all help me. Who's Mr. Grumpy, the old farmer? What's his name?
Y'all remember? I don't know. He's the homophobe.
I don't remember his name.
Okay, so Karina says, I just saw Davis in the previews for Cherish today, but I don't know what's going on with Davis. I have not watched Cherish today yet. I want to watch it, but I just haven't gotten to it. So I'm like avoiding all the commercials, all the stuff, because they be telling the whole story. But anyways, but you know what turned me off a little bit about Cherish today? Clodell. Thank you, IBE. Clodell. Okay. I'm not gonna go on Cherish Day. Anyway,
can't be real. That is not.
No, I think it is something like that. I think it is something like that.
His name. You making that up?
No, I don't think IBE would lie to us. I don't think so.
Okay.
Clodell. Okay. So Clodell is another person who has had a turnaround, and I liked how Micah.
Wait, that's his name. Okay, Clodell. With slavery eyes. Oh my God.
Slavery eyes. Oh Lord Jesus. The old farmer. So, Micah, Micah wants to sell or display the picture of Claudel at his art show and give the proceeds to the farm, to the co-op. But I appreciate y'all are just too tickled pink by this name. He does look like a Claudel, huh?
He said slavery eyes. What is slavery eyes?
We're not gonna talk about our ancestors like that. We're not gonna denigrate our ancestors.
Okay. Season, get it together. Be professional. Oh my God. Okay, Reese,
Okay.
I'm sorry. Go back to Micah. Yes.
So everybody's laughing with y'all, to be clear. So Claudel, he kind of apologized for being a jerk off about the co-op, and once his farm got flooded, then he was like, oh, okay, this is actually a good thing. And then this week, I really like that he apologized to Micah about being kind of homophobic, and like, oh, in my day, it was like this, but I'm glad it's different. I feel like that's a good character to redeem because he kind of is like one of the biggest jerks on the show aside from Sam Landry. So I like they're showing him evolve and really come around to the team community spirit. What I'm almost afraid to ask. MD Terp says y'all cracking me up. What's your reaction to Claudel's change of heart, Ashley?
Back in the slave plantations, he wasn't able to do all that life. So now he trying to be more accepting, okay? I really enjoyed it, though. I really did like the fact that they were like, that's another one of those things they were wrapping up.
Yes.
His whole perception, changing the perception of him and kind of humanizing him a little bit because, of course, we hear bigoted shit all the time, right? We hear all types of ignorant language on all platforms at some point. So it's not unusual how he feels. We know a lot of older Black men specifically just, don't know how to accept that life of other men. It's just not what they're used to, or they were in down low, brother. All that, has to play. But for him to, I'm sorry, that took me the fuck out. I'm sorry. But for him to, oh my God. But I really like the fact that Micah didn't have to bring it up to him. That's what I like.
Yes, I like that too.
Micah didn't have to bring it up. He came out and recognized, let me bring this to the forefront. Let me apologize. Let me explain myself and let me show that I'm willing and ready to move on and be a better person. So I like the fact that Micah nobody had to call him out on it. I mean, they called him out, of course, in that moment. But since then, it seems like people were just like, not really going at him, and the fact that he was able to come to that realization on his own essentially was definitely a good moment. I liked it. But
I think he showed his sincerity. Season, you were shaking your head though. What were you shaking your head at?
At seeing his name again, saying I appreciated Claudel's.
Everybody gonna say Claudel.
Look.
I'm trying to stay out the comments. My God.
I thought that was nice. I think he had a come to Jesus moment last week when they helped save his farm. So he might be looking at everything and everybody a little bit different. And now Micah trying to help even more. Go Claudel. Y'all stop, okay? But it was cute. Sometimes you can have them little heart to hearts with these old Black folk and talk to them about their ways, or, they really just want to relate to you and talk to you sometimes too. So yeah, that was nice. Micah, Micah was winning this episode. He got his little voice back.
Yeah, he did. MD Term says I like that because older Black men are definitely more conservative and traditional when it comes to anything gay or traditional masculinity. And I just feel like sometimes you rub somebody the wrong way and maybe that really wasn't your intent. And if you have the kind of relationship where you can revisit and be like, hey, about that time, that my bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not going to do that for everybody. Sometimes, like, look, if you mad, get over it. I don't give a fuck, But I think that he is trying to show a different side of himself, and introspection is a very good thing. So I think it was good for him to take that opportunity. And I think it was good for Micah because, Micah was very much affected in that situation. Now, Karina says Micah was a jerk about it too. I don't remember him being a jerk about it.
He was more so embarrassed.
Yeah.
To me, Micah was more so a jerk because he was like embarrassed about it. He didn't want people to know. He was embarrassed about his friend Isaac and whatever feelings, because he didn't know what feelings he was feeling. So for this older man or black man to make a comment, I could definitely see how he was, came off as a jerk. But he was embarrassed.
Well, I think he was a jerk to his friend. I don't remember him being a jerk to Claudel, though. I don't remember him being a jerk to him. But
we gotta call him something else, bro. We just have to.
Odell. Maybe if it was just Odell, but Claudel makes it even older.
Claudel make it sound like somebody ignorant ass pappy.
That be frying pigeons in the backyard.
Yeah, and just get drunk off moonshine.
Well, let's talk about this comment. S. Murphy says, I love how black men were seen in this episode, showing up, showing emotions, talking about mental health and therapy. One of the things I think is interesting is, Ava DuVernay made it a point to have women directors for every episode. But I feel like, even with that, there's still that I feel like they handle the men and their feelings and their humanity exceptionally well. I would say better than any other show I can think of. I mean, I'm sure there's a show that probably does it really well, but off the top of my head, I feel like black men are really given the full spectrum of who they are and what they have to offer in the show. They're not always on the up and up, they're not always doing the right thing, but I do feel like they really show the care and humanity that black men have for their community, for their relationships and their family. And I think that's beautiful. So speaking of that, let's talk about, we're still on Michael. Okay, let's wrap up Micah's. So Michael had his art show and he told that dude off something serious. I guess, he's no longer part of the little NFT shit or whatever. And he did have the boy stuck on stupid. I didn't feel like it had as much punch as it could have because, like, Micah, you say this after you sold your mama down the drain for $200,000, so it rings a little hollow. But I definitely think that it was good to kind of like close that chapter and move on to now he's trying to start an artist collective. IB says Zane is another one who needs his ass beat. Right. I hope he got his money back from that credit card. Just to wrap up this whole thing, what is your reaction to the whole Zane altercation as well as his new collective? Ashley, I'll start with you.
I agree. I think Zane definitely needs his ass beat because you just, you really are a fucking coon to me. You're fucking coon. You deserve your ass beat. But him, I really enjoyed how he has evolved into now this kind of leader, okay, you did fuck your mama over, you apologize, that's all good and well.
Barely.
You still got a lot you need to do on that end, but I'm glad that moving forward, what you are doing is bettering the community. You're bringing real art, you're bringing a real message, and the fact that you're using or partnering with everybody within this black community that's different. Like when I saw the midget up there, I was like, oh shit, it's a midget.
A little person? I don't remember seeing a little person, but I was
standing right next to the armrest. I mean, and I said that because I've never seen that. You get what I'm saying? Like you don't see those different types of black people. You see the same, either they're black, they're chocolate, they're light skinned, or if we're adding a little diversity, they may be, gay, lesbian, transgender, but that's really where it stops. You don't really see people who have disabilities. That's showed in a lot of TV, someone that's in a wheelchair.
Well, they did have, I think his name is Rance Nixon, who was in, it was a show y'all might have seen. It was on OWN. No. He's a little person, and he was like, what was the name of that show? It was about the black family, the winery. It came on. Nobody watched it. I don't think I watched it, but nobody else did. But I liked him, and he had a beautiful wife. Yada yada yada.
Yeah.
Anyway, but I get
But
your
I
point.
just really like that it was some of everybody within that room that he was speaking to. I felt like he really is speaking the genuine big black community, not just like he said, the popular kids. You know,
And
so
I
really
love
enjoyed
that part. I love that
Yeah.
part because Aunt Cookie says she watched it. Okay, what was the name of that show, Aunt Cookie? I think even like in the space that I'm in, there is a cool kids club, right? And there's the people that are curated into our spaces and they look out for each other all the time. And to break in I'm a bit of a disruptor in that cool kid space, and so I like what he was saying about being inclusive and diverse and not being a part of the cool kids club, because I feel like everybody has something to say, and there is some degree of democracy now with social media, even though everything's algorithms, that allows a variety of viewpoints and people to be seen and get that platform without being put on by somebody, or without having to kiss the ring of some particular person. But anyways, Season, what was your reaction?
It was cool. Like, what I've been saying about Micah this whole time is just like, it was, what he's gone through. I wasn't really that pressed by it because obviously it needed to happen for him to grow as a person and an artist. But, he was very well warned about Zayn. He was told Zayn was a snake.
Yeah.
Don't trust him. He's slick. He this, he that. And he got caught up in the sauce. He got, he thought he was, finna be that nigga. And so, like I said, it was just a necessary thing that needed to happen to Micah, obviously. And, his collective that he's starting, that's cool. That's cute. That's appropriate.
Yeah. The Kings of Napa was the show I was referring to. Thanks, everybody.
Oh, I remember that.
What do y'all think?
Kiki.
I loved how elegant Kiki looks. Like, I feel like Micah still looks a little young on the show, but I feel like Kiki really looked like a boss bitch. Like, like she's coming to her own. And I like that her whole plot wasn't trying to get with Micah or anything like that. I like that they showed her kind of doing her thing, running shit. Maybe they'll come back together, but I don't feel like that. I don't know. I kind of feel like we wrapped up Micah's plot a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah, there's nowhere for Micah to go from here.
Yeah, I don't know how much more we have with Micah.
Unless we go into his love life. I mean, if Isaiah comes back.
Isaiah is in Mexico, booed up and living his best life. But I will say the problem with Micah is that Charlie's not there. And this is my first time saying this episode, but I feel like to have such a huge exploitive just betrayal of his mother, and we're kind of like, all right, moving on from that, and there's no, you know what I'm saying, he had the phone call. I thought it was okay. It felt short because he was talking to a voicemail for me, but I just feel like, yeah, okay. But I do appreciate at least that he's come back around, because I feel like this season they kind of made him go like regress a little bit in terms of like where he was more confident last season, and now I feel like they've gotten him back to a place where I feel like, all right, Micah's in a good space. So I think we kind of covered it for Micah. Okay, so last but not least, let's talk about, just real quick, Prosper having cold feet was too cute.
It was cute. I can't hate on Prosper. That was cute. And, it felt good for them to speak so much life into him.
Yes.
And just motivate him. That was such a pretty scene.
It was
adorable. It was adorable.
Yeah. I will say, though, for me, the star by far was Omar Dorsey, Hollywood. I feel like I've been waiting for Hollywood to really get these kinds of scenes. He's been such a real supporting off on the side, barely really having much to do, but I love how he really stepped more so into the forefront in this episode, and I think he's going to play a larger role in the episodes to come. Starting off with him talking to Vi about fostering, and how they could have all these kids that they're giving love to. I'll let you both kind of summarize your highlights. Season, let's start with you. What were your big Hollywood moments for this episode?
I like that he's, going to support or push Vida Foster. Him starting the whole dad's thing, and then him raising up to whoop that white boy ass in that meeting. And now he finna run for office. So he's checking off all the boxes with his character and where he can go on, these last few episodes. So yeah, I like Hollywood. I'm proud of him. He doing that. He doing the damn thing.
Yeah.
Him and Vi finna be a little power couple.
I know, right? Isn't that so cute? And I not to name drop again because I've mentioned this before, but when I did have a chance to talk with Omar Dorsey on Roland, because he was on there promoting Queen Sugar last year, or was it this year? It might have been this year. I don't know. Shit, all these years running together. But anyway, I talked to him about how I love that he's the patriarch of the Bordelon clan. And I love that he started Dads on Patrol, even though he technically doesn't have kids of his own. And I just love how his Queen Sugar and his portrayal really shows that, that there are Black men in our communities and our families that are leaders of the communities, and they're dads to people even if they don't have their own kids. I just thought that was really powerful, that he is really getting back to like when he started his men's collective and he started this Dads on Patrol, and he's just really showing up for everybody in a way that is really beautiful. And he doesn't seem depleted by it, because sometimes there's this like, oh, I'm there for everybody who's there for me, but I never get that vibe from Hollywood. Ashley, what's your take on it?
When Vi was talking about contacting Betty, right? And at first Hollywood was saying, are you sure that's a good idea? This is what you were saying before, and really having that cautionary, conversation with her. But then after he said maybe 2 or 3 things, and then he switched to, okay, how can I support you? I like that he gives that balance. I feel like Hollywood is the patriarch of the family. Like, he is the powerhouse in the family for real, but he does not flex his power. His power is through supporting other people, which means he really I don't know. I could talk about Hollywood for hours because I really love what they're doing to show just such a great male character, a Black male character. He ain't got his pants sagging. He ain't no former druggie.
Respectability politics.
He really is a good dude. He's a genuinely good dude. And the fact that they're giving him such great moments, like the one with him and Raw was top fucking tier to me. That took the cake. Because he was able to just be in so much control in such an uncontrolled situation. So I'm here for everything that Hollywood, every scene they're giving him. I even love him on Raising Kanan.
I haven't seen that one. Okay.
Yeah. He is definitely, as an actor, he's going far, because Queen Sugar is writing great material for him, and he is spot on.
I don't know what's going on with your camera. Oh, there he is. Okay, so I'm frozen. I completely agree with you, and I just love his character, and I just love what he's representing. And I'm telling you, if I had to call like a fictional character in real life to have my back, it would be Hollywood. Like, I'm like, Hollywood, we need you, buddy, whatever. So, but I think for me, one of the highlights was, they had the whole scoreboard meeting, and as Season pointed out, Nova got another L under her belt.
I don't know. They need to stop calling her.
I think they're colorist against dark-skinned women giving speeches.
Or something, bitch, because ain't nobody even listening to you. Where was Billy?
Light-skinned bitches have won every single speech off in the history of Queen Sugar, and Nova is like like 0 and
She
4
just
this season. So
fucking
come on.
losing. Come on, girl.
It's so weird how she
is.
just can't catch a W with her speeches.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
But what I appreciated was was um was a Hollywood. And Aunt Cookie says, where was all the black folks in the parish? I don't know. Apparently the co-op had the night off. Everybody else had the night off because they had the white folks up in there acting crazy as shit. But I love how Hollywood, when he heard about you know, the school board position coming open, he asked how he could sign up. Now, I will be honest, I cannot imagine it takes 1,000 signatures for us for that parish. I don't know how big the parish is, but that sounds like a ridiculous amount. It probably takes closer to 100 in real life. But okay, we're gonna say 1,000 signatures. But I love that because my husband is an elected official. He ran for town commission, and he just had been attending town hall meetings. And he just decided, like, oh, there's an opening. Like, I think this is something I can do. And he's so amazing at it. And he really, really cares for our community. And
you better brag about your man, girl.
No, but I love that he is passionate and he's engaged in the community and people love him and the work that he does. And he really
you married to Hollywood is what you're saying.
You know what? I kind of am. I got my own little version of Hollywood. Okay, even now that you mention it, I do.
He likes skin, so he's really Long Beach. He likes skin now. So.
He more like you say he more Long Beach. He more San Diego than Hollywood.
San Diego. Oh Lord Jesus.
No, we'll give him North.
Don't do my husband like that. Don't do the commissioner like that. But so anyway, but I love, Charlie was the politician and she kind of took the ball and ran with it. You have Nova, who's a civil rights activist, and then you have Micah's Dennis Collective and Vi is like the mom of the matriarch of the town. And so I love that Hollywood is going to run for office. And I love that what this show is doing, it's really in its groove. I love what it's doing is it's showing the many ways that we can be empowered. It shows entrepreneurship, it shows community, it shows politics, it shows problem solving, it shows being empowered and supporting each other and sticking together. And I just love that about Queen Sugar. And I was saying last week, like, okay, how many more episodes we got? Like, which I gotta talk about. But next week is gonna be the wedding. And it looks beautiful already. I saw some drama that's happening, not with the wedding, but with some other bullshit. There's a fire, and I don't know exactly where the fire is or whatever. But I still feel like they have some things going. I still don't know if there's because this was episode 9. I don't know if there's 4 more episodes worth of shit. But at the end of the day, I feel like Queen Sugar is just really giving. Oh, Billy, yes, Billy is kissing on her boyfriend situation, whatever. Vince is back. Love that for her and for him because I didn't think that was realistic. Hello,
fuck wasn't he?
I was like, that hunk of man, no, bitch, we're not buying that. But anyway, I'm looking forward to wrapping up Queen Sugar. I feel like they really, really nailed this so far, minus Charlie not being. I'm gonna always be salty about that, minus Charlie not being there. But that's it. I think that's all I got. What else I got? Y'all got anything else? Did we miss anything?
I'm ready for the next episode because this was a good episode.
I love that Queen Sugar is going to give us a wedding. I love that they're going to give us a celebration. And I love that we're going to get Prosper and Sandy and everybody looks amazing. So super excited. But is it next week? Because you know what? Actually, next week, I don't think I'm going to be able to do the recap. No, I'm not, because I'm going to be doing election night coverage. So hopefully, if it's next week, I'm sorry, y'all. We're gonna have to catch up and do the wedding and the next episode recap. But if you have Sirius XM, then check me out next week from 8 to 10. I will be co-hosting with Clay. It's Clay Kane, and I'm his co-host. Be clear. Election night coverage, and then I'll be doing some stuff with Roland, I think, beforehand. But for me, the big thing.
If you would like to get an idea of what's going on,
look, Reese,
I have some great recommendations
Yay! Oh look, that is so cute.
Long and short. Come on, we got it for you here. Okay, it's on
That is
Amazon.
so
You can
cute.
type in Reese and it pop up. You ain't even got to know her full name, just Reese.
That's
And
it. Yes,
Do it,
Ashley,
y'all.
thank you so much for plugging
Well
my books.
informed.
And thank you for your support. And guess what? You can listen to the audio version of my Bus Watch Races. You can listen to the audio version of this for free on my website, blackwomanviews.com. I figure, look, the election is right around the corner. If y'all ain't buying it, at least go ahead and listen to it. And that way you can get some information if you're text banking, phone banking. One thing we do have to go back about, Deonza reminded us. The bank guy. So there was a whistleblower of sorts. Miller came over. He had receipts and invoices, child. When we found out that Sam Landry's broke ass ain't been paying his bills, I was like, ain't that some shit? So they're foreclosing on the farmers, holding up their applications. And meanwhile, Landry is past due, selling off shit for parts. So that does make it a little weird that he just spent $650 for that land when he ain't got no money. But like the guy said, they have a lot of debt. So yeah, any reaction to that, or that's really it?
Maybe that's how they gonna get the farm back, is pay pennies for it.
Well, I think it's interesting. Oh, go ahead, Ashley.
I mean, I like the fact that they gave him this opportunity to kind of do things right. You know, like you've been sitting back this whole time watching all this shit go down. And now you want to get this box of documents that you collected over the time, because now you on the outs. You know, it just, I don't know. I need to see more of where that's going to lead to, because it's one thing to have the documents. It's another for people to give a fuck about these documents and actually do something with it.
Boom. There is that. Because in the previews, they did show them confronting the guy, and he's like, go to hell, bitch. Like, you know, he doesn't really care. MD Terp says, I was institutional racism at its finest. However, I need him to expose white supremacy from within and not when it gets fired. Better late than never. Yeah, I mean, I think the thing about it is it's getting convoluted. Like, okay, y'all doing a lot. Like, Karina says the caucasity and the whiteness. Yes, okay. And she says, I hope to meet Reese one day and have her sign my book. Oh, I will love that.
And she smells so good in person, y'all.
That's a lot. I don't even wear perfume and none of that stuff. I think I had some lotion on that day. I think you was complimenting my lotion. But that's it. Let's see. That's it for us. So unfortunately, like I said, we won't be here next week, but we'll be back in 2 weeks. I assume there's an episode in 2 weeks. To tell y'all, we can recap about the wedding and whatever drama and whatever else is going on. So thank you, Mrs. Mason, newlywed. And thank you, Season, with your high ponytail.
Yes, I had to do something. My 4-year-old read me for filth this morning.
I need to figure out what I'm gonna do with this hair. Oh my Lord Jesus! It's expensive. These bitches don't want you to reuse hair. They don't want to do shit. They like, come with your hair done already. Fucking just give me $400. So I'm trying to figure that out, but I'm gonna figure it out at some point. But anyways, all right, y'all. Thank you so much for joining us. We love y'all. Bye, y'all. Good night.
Bye y'all.
Yeah, shut up.